Typhoons are some of the most powerful forces on Earth. These colossal storms can cause catastrophic damage in a matter of hours. But have you ever stopped to wonder how these massive, swirling giants actually form? What makes a typhoon different from an ordinary storm? And why do they hit certain parts of the world more than others? Stick around, because today we're unraveling the science behind one of nature's most fearsome creations. By the end of this video, you'll have a whole new perspective on how these storms start and how they turn into the monsters we see on the news. Let's begin where all typhoons are born, the ocean. But not just any part of the ocean. Typhoons only form in tropical regions, and for good reason. The surface temperature of the water in these areas needs to be at least 26.5 degrees Celsius, or around 80 degrees Fahrenheit. You see, water this warm acts as the fuel for what will eventually become a powerful storm. But warm water alone isn't enough. Several other key ingredients must come together in just the right way to create a typhoon. Think of it like baking a cake. You need heat, moisture, and motion. It all starts when the sun heats the surface of the ocean, warming the air above it. This warm, moist air begins to rise, creating what's called an updraft. But here's where things get really interesting, because warm air can hold more moisture. As it rises higher into the cooler atmosphere, that moisture begins to cool and condense. These water droplets clump together to form clouds, but not just any clouds. We're talking about towering cumulonimbus clouds, the kind that stretch kilometers high into the atmosphere. As these clouds form, they release heat in a process called latent heat release. And this heat, it actually causes more air to rise, speeding up the process. Now here's where the magic, or rather the physics, happens. As this warm air rises and cools, air from the surrounding areas rushes in to replace it. But because our planet is constantly rotating, this rushing air doesn't travel in a straight line. Instead, the Earth's rotation causes it to curve, in what's known as the Coriolis effect. In the northern hemisphere, this causes the storm to spin counterclockwise, while in the southern hemisphere, storms spin clockwise. This is why typhoons can only form in certain regions near the equator, where the Coriolis effect is strong enough to give them that crucial spin. As the storm grows in size and strength, something incredible happens. The low-pressure zone at the center of the storm intensifies, forming what we call the eye of the typhoon. The eye is one of the most fascinating parts of any tropical cyclone. While winds around the storm's edge can reach terrifying speeds of over 200 kilometers per hour, the eye itself is calm, almost peaceful. But don't let that fool you. This calm is surrounded by chaos. The strongest part of the storm is actually the eyewall, the ring of thunderstorms surrounding the eye. Here, the winds are the most intense, and the rainfall is torrential. This is where a typhoon's most destructive power is concentrated. But what makes some typhoons more intense than others? It all comes down to heat, latent heat to be precise. The more water vapor that condenses into clouds, the more heat is released into the atmosphere. This heat makes the air rise faster, which causes more air to rush in and speeds up the entire system. In a way, typhoons feed off their own strength. The more heat they release, the faster they grow. This is why typhoons that pass over exceptionally warm waters, like those found in the Pacific, can quickly explode into massive Category 5 storms in just a few days. Eventually, many typhoons make their way toward land where they unleash their full fury. But something interesting happens when a typhoon hits land. It begins to weaken. Without the warm ocean water to fuel it, the storm loses strength and gradually dies out. But make no mistake, by the time a typhoon hits, it can already cause widespread devastation. Storm surges, flash floods, and high winds can destroy homes, wipe out power lines, and flood entire cities in a matter of hours. This is why early warning systems and evacuation plans are crucial to saving lives. And here's a reality we can't ignore. Typhoons are getting stronger. As global temperatures rise due to climate change, the ocean is getting warmer. This means that future storms will have even more fuel to grow, and we may see more frequent, more intense typhoons. In fact, studies show that while the overall number of storms may not change drastically, the storms we do get will likely be more powerful, with heavier rains and stronger winds. It's a worrying trend, especially for coastal communities that are already vulnerable. Fortunately, advances in technology have given us the tools to track these storms with incredible accuracy. Satellites, radar systems, and computer models allow meteorologists to predict the path and strength of a typhoon days in advance, giving people precious time to prepare and evacuate if needed. But predicting the exact intensity of a storm is still a challenge, especially when factors like wind shear or cooler water currents come into play. That's why ongoing research into storm dynamics is so important. The more we understand about how typhoons form and grow, the better we can protect ourselves from their devastating impact. So the next time you hear about a typhoon, you'll know that it's more than just a random event. It's the result of a complex dance between the ocean, the atmosphere, and the forces of nature. And while we can't stop typhoons from forming, we can be better prepared for when they do. At the end of the day, the power of a typhoon is a reminder of the incredible forces at work on our planet, but it's also a reminder of our own resilience. Through preparation, technology, and a deeper understanding of the world around us, we can weather the storm, no matter how strong. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about the science behind natural phenomena, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and tap the notification bell to stay updated with our latest content. Stay curious and stay safe.